Happy June 1st, which means two things. It first means it's time for a Pan That Palette update. However, before we get into it, I'd also like to say happy month of the rainbow. That is what this month's headband reveal is all about. It's got little rainbow pattern kind of going down, and then the little beads on it are also little like rainbow colored gems. I will say out of all of my headbands, this is the one that I would probably tweak just a little bit if I could customize them, because it's like I don't mind the little rainbow pattern, but I kind of wish we had a few of these little gemmy things here, or like the one with the clouds on it. Like I kind of want just a little bit more. Like this is like sophisticated rainbow. I want obnoxious rainbow. But you know what? It's definitely going to be a colorful month, that's for sure. Welcome to update 5 of Pan That Palette. It has been almost half a year since I've been working on the Dragon Fruit palette by Clionadh Cosmetics and Emily Violet Murray. Unfortunately, last month I had a bittersweet update, but this month I have a happy one for you. So let's get into it. So the top picture is from January and the bottom picture is from last month. I just want to recap kind of how things have been going. We did hit pan after 39 uses in bubbles, but unfortunately due to a fingernail incident last month, I did unfortunately lose my pan because I kicked some up and had to press it back in, and of course it fell right into that spot. High-Low Serious I was able to hit pan on after 11 uses back last month. Sweetened I had hit pan on back in March after 14 uses. Catace I hit pan on back in April after 30 uses. And Dragonfly I also hit pan on back in April but after 21 uses. As for weights, when I brought this palette in back in January, it was 228.4 grams. Last month it was 224.5 grams, and oddly enough, this month it is also 224.5 grams, which means in the past month I apparently have used 0 gram of product, and in total I have used 3.9 grams. However, I definitely know I have used this palette this past month. I was focusing on 2 different shades, but I also have something exciting to share. So this is what my palette looks like now. So as you can see, that top shade, which is that highlighter shade Bubbles, I was able to re-hit pan on that one. It took the 80th use to be able to get that back. This past month I was also working on Fruit Fizz, which has a really nice crater in it, and I was also working on Dragon Teeny, which has a nice dip going. To quickly go over uses, top picture is monthly uses, bottom picture is total. So with Bubbles we used it 11 times to bring us to 80 uses, which is when I got that pan back. With Refresh I used it 3 times to bring us to 18. Strawberry Pear I only dipped into it once, which brought us to 8. Dragon Teeny I used 6 times, so we're now at a total of 20. Infusion I didn't touch, so we're still at 12. High-Low Serious also didn't touch, so we're at 11. Sweetened also didn't touch, we're at 14. Exotic didn't touch, we're still at 19. And rounding out that middle row is Prickly, I also didn't touch it, bringing it still to a total of 15. Onto the bottom row, those greens there, I used Catace 4 times, bringing it to a total of 40 uses. Dragonfly, the little bit darker green shade, I used once, bringing us to 24. Fruit Fizz was one of the ones I was focusing on. I used that 9 times, bringing us to a total of 24 uses. And Effervescent, I used 9 times to bring us to a total of 60. For the past month, I was focusing on the shades Fruit Fizz and Dragon Teeny. Like I'd mentioned earlier, I was able to get 6 more uses out of Dragon Teeny and 9 more out of Fruit Fizz, so I definitely think it went fairly well. I did get my significant other to look at all of the looks I made this past month, and these were the 2 they picked as their favorite. Just to let you know, all of these shades are Clionadh Cosmetics, so if I don't say a brand name, just automatically assume it's a Clionadh shade. But for the Fruit Fizz look, I put Fruit Fizz all over my lid and brought it down to the lower lash line as well. Then I put the shade Burnish in the outer V, and then I buffed that in with Sandblast, and then I buffed that with Burnt Sienna, and then I kind of buffed that back in with Fruit Fizz. As for the inner corner, I kind of had the bottom inner corner of the shade Catace, and then the very inner corner I used the shade Bubbles. As for the lower lash line, I put Burnt Sienna on the outer portion, and on the inner portion I had the shade Ochre, and I topped both of those with a glitter shade called Foiling. In my tight line, I had the ColourPop liner in the shade Joyride, which is the more red toned, and in the waterline I had Toucan Do It, which was the yellow shade, into Peach Fuzz, which is more of that warm kind of peachy shade. I did put some glitter on the bottom inner corner, and I topped that with some Beauty Bar Baby Flakes. And as for mascara, I had the Essence Princess on top and the ColourPop Left on Red on the bottom. Second look was the look I did with Dragantini, and with this one I put Dragantini all over the lid. I find starting with the lighter shade is a lot easier for me instead of starting with the dark and then working light, so that's why I always start with the main shade kind of all over. But I did put the shade Forge in the outer corner, and I blended that with a shade called Roseline, and then I blended Roseline in with Dragantini. The inner corner I used the shade Bubbles, and on the lower lash line I used the shade Caribou, and I buffed that into Fruit Fizz, and then I topped them both with Effervescent. In my tight line, I have the ColourPop liner in the shade Plum Smash, which is more of a violet sort of shade. And in the waterline, I used Honeydew, which is just a nude sort of shade. And then I transitioned that into Exit, which is the bright white. Of course, I reached for a little bit of glitter and my multi-chrome flakes as well on the bottom inner corner. And as for mascara, again, I have the Essence Lash Princess on the top, but this time I used ColourPop's Pink Ink on the bottom. As for my June goals, I am going to be focusing on the shades Refresh as well as Strawberry Pear. I have Refresh all over my eyelids today, as that's the first one I'm going to be focusing on. This is the shade Refresh right here, and then this is the shade Strawberry Pear. Refresh is described as a bubblegum pink with a silvery finish. It is a metallic eyeshadow. And Strawberry Pear is a coral, but it is a velvet satin. So that is my update for how Pan That palette went in the month of May. I feel like I was so close to hitting Pan on Fruit Fizz, but that's okay. I'll definitely dedicate that shade to a later month and hopefully we can hit Pan then. My next update for Pan That palette will be on July 1st, also is Canada Day for us here, so I hope you come back and join me for that one and see just how much progress I'm able to make on Refresh and Strawberry Pear. However, in the meantime, I do have a shorts coming out tomorrow, which is a compilation of all the looks that I made this past month, and then my next video will be on the 4th, which is my update on how Pan That face palette has been going. I hope you join me for both of them, but if I see you in one, or if this is the last time I see you, thank you very much for watching my video today. I really appreciate your support, and until the next one, I hope the day treats you well. Bye!